Let's go ahead and get started, you guys. So let's start, we're gonna actually start in child's pose. So for child's pose, take your knees about mat width distance apart and your toes together behind you to touch. And then walk your arms straight out in front of you. Good, so that you guys get settled here. We'll take the first few moments, just kind of check in with some breathing, some relaxation. Kind of a nice transition here, right, from like whatever else you were doing in your day to taking some time out, carving this time out for yourself. And as we begin here, let's just start to get really present to how your breathing is going. So start by taking a couple deep breaths in through your nose and then back out through your mouth. So nice and slow in through the nose, and you fill up, feel your belly expand, your chest expand. You might lift slightly off the ground as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, all those things might compress a bit. Your hips might get a little closer towards your heels. Good, do that one more time. Big, full, deep breath in. And then a slow exhale back out. And then as always in any yoga class, your body's your body, right? We're all dealing with different things on different days. So do what works. Don't do what doesn't work. Feel free to modify, change, and adjust whenever you need to. Let's go ahead and move off to the left. So just the lower body's gonna stay. Arms are just gonna walk over to the left about as far as you can get them. And then you can either just let your hands kind of rest off your mat, or you might stack one hand on top of the other. You're looking for a big stretch on the right side of your body. So if your forehead can touch the ground, you're still keeping your forehead down, if that works. And then see if you can press your right hip a little closer to your heel. So go with those nice deep stretches, deep breathing in through the nose and back up through the mouth. Good, take one more like that. Big full breath in, right hip towards right heel as far as you can go. And then slow breath back out. Nice, and then we'll walk your hands back to center for a moment. Pause here, see if you can find a little bit more length somewhere from your pelvis to your fingertips. And then walk both hands all the way over to the right. So you're just moving to the opposite side of the mat. Forehead still on the mat if it can be. If not, find a place that feels workable for your body. And then dig into that left side. A big full breath in through the nose. And then a slow breath back out. Keeping a conscious connection, left hip towards the left heel. Doesn't matter whether it touches or not, but you're just exaggerating that traction that you're getting all the way up the left side of your body. Good, do that one more time. Take a full breath in. And then slow breath back out. Fantastic. Let's work hands back to center. Find just one more time, a little bit more length between fingertips to pelvis. And then on your next inhale, rise up into a tabletop. So you'll walk your hands back underneath the shoulders. Hips are over your knees. And then tops of the feet just rest on the floor. Good. And we'll take a couple of cat-cows from here. So on your inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward, press down into the hands and puff up through your upper back. And then exhale and round. Tuck your chin to your chest. And you're pressing your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Good, a couple more times like that. Inhale, drop your belly and gaze forward. And then exhale and round. Good, two more, big breath in, drop and gaze. Still press down into the mat, puff up a little through the upper back, and then exhale and round. You want to keep that stability through the shoulders as we're moving in the spine. One more time, inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward, press into the mat, engage your core. Good, and then exhale and round. Okay, coming back to a neutral spine. Take your right leg forward in a low lunge. Now, if any of you have a sensitive knee here, my favorite yoga trick is to take your mat and just roll it up slightly. Did you see how I did that? Just pinch towards the back, I don't know, third of my mat or so. And then my left knee is gonna stay down and my right leg's gonna come forward. Good, if you're in a nice comfortable surface, you don't need to do that. I got a nice hard floor underneath me. So we're gonna move into these hips a little bit. So this is great psoas stuff here for you, Cheryl. So walk your right foot a little bit farther forward normally than where you planted. And see if you can just press your hips kind of towards the ground. You could have your hands on the ground or maybe up on the block, but pretty low here to start. We're really working that left hip flexor. Yeah, we'll add in a little bit more in just a few moments, but I thought we'd give it a little bit of action here to start. So let's just find a little bit of movement, like you're kind of pressing the hips down and then slowly back. Just a slow glide into this. Saying hello to the hips. It's like you're knocking at the door and then we're gonna go in and have lunch in just a sec. So, bring that right knee, good. Now we're gonna pause forward. So see if you can really sink the hips forward and then start to lift up through your upper body a bit. So if you can, you're pressing down into the block or the mat and you're gonna pull your chest slightly forward, head back over the shoulders. Yeah, good. So you should really start to feel that left hip flexor. Watch your hips here. There'll be a tendency to kind of twist sideways. And essentially what your body's doing is finding the path of least resistance, which means it's gonna lose the stretch. So try to keep your hips pretty much straight forward. No problem if they're not perfectly even. Just be aware of if you're trying to lose it. And now we're gonna find a little bit of balance at the same time. So pull your belly button up and in. You wanna feel that engagement in the core. And then press down into this right heel. And then see if the pressing down into the heel lets you lift your hands up. You gotta engage all the way through this right leg. Yeah, you got it. Good. And then you might stay here with your hands resting on the right knee. Couple of options. You could stay. If you want a little bit more work on the balance, you could take your hands up and just sort of hang out maybe with them on your side. Upper body is lifted. Or the last option is to take both hands straight up towards the ceiling. And we're still pressing down into this right heel. Core is engaged. Take a big breath in. If your hands are up, see if you can reach a little bit taller towards the ceiling. It's like you're lifting up and out of the pelvis and extending through the low back. That's great. Take one more breath in here. And on the exhale, we're going to take this into a hamstring stretch. So gently put your hands back on the floor, and then we'll let the right toes come up, straightening through the right leg. And then hands can come to the floor here or up on a couple of blocks or books. Or if you prefer here, you can always sit all the way back onto the left heel, maybe stick a block underneath the right hip and just lean it forward. Yeah, any variation there is great. Everyone will need something a little bit different. Just watch out for the right knee. Since we're in a bit of a leveraged position, you want to make sure you're not hyperextending in this knee at all. Good, forehead, working down towards your shin, feeling the back of your legs. These are your hamstrings. See if you can relax through the shoulders here. Good, just working a couple more breaths, nice and slow, in through the nose. Exhaling back up through the mouth. Go one more time like that, big full breath in. And exhale, back out. Good. And then we'll come back into our lunge. Make your way back into a tabletop where we started. Good, we'll take a round of cat-cow just to reset the spine. So on your inhale, drop your belly and gaze forward. And then exhale, round. Good, coming back to neutral. We'll take left foot forward. Right knee stays back. Good, remember to have that block handy if you need it. And then we'll take just a couple of these kind of rock forwards and backs. Checking in with the right hip flexor. Essentially, you're sort of letting your body know we're gonna go there, right? So just real gently moving in and out a couple times. Good, and then this time we'll pause. Make sure that your knee becomes right above this ankle. So feel free to scoot your foot forward if you need to. And then see if you can drop these hips down towards the floor, just as close as they'll get. You'll feel this back hip flexor. You might feel down into the quadricep. Good, remember, we're gonna get that stretch first before we play with the balance. Good, a couple slow breaths in and out. In through the nose. And exhale back out. Good, relax through your shoulders. You might start here to lift your chest up a bit. So sort of upper body stacking over the hips. And then we'll head into this balance a bit, right? So our next step is to put hands on top of that left knee. Remember, pressing down into the left knee is the key for the balance. You want to stack your knee right over the ankle and then press the ankle down into the ground. And if you want more from there, hands can come up and you can stay lifted, or hands can come all the way up towards the ceiling. So find whichever variation works best for you. Remember, hips and shoulders are usually a little bit different from side to side on everybody's body. So you might need to kick it up or peel it back a little bit depending on how your body is doing today. Okay, keep pressing into that left heel. If your arms are up, so you can get just a little bit higher, reaching up and out of the low back. Good, take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, hands come back down. And we'll move into that hamstring stretch. So we'll slowly shift the weight back into the right knee. And then you can stay here with the left leg lifted, or if you prefer, you can sit all the way back down. You might sit on the right heel or stick a block underneath your left hip, and then lean forward. Remember, you're just paying attention to the left knee for hyperextension. So you're maybe engaging the quad just a little bit, or just making sure that knee's not going backwards in the joint. Forehead towards the left shin. Good. And then notice your shoulders. If it feels like there's a lot of tension there, see if you can relax the shoulders a bit. And we'll take just a couple of breaths in and out through the nose, exhaling back up through the mouth. One more time like that, big full breath in. And exhale back out. Good, and then we'll slowly come back up one more time in tabletop, and then we're gonna start to move just a little bit faster from here. We'll find one more cat-cow, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, drop your belly and gaze forward. Exhale, round through your back. Good, if you've done that little cushion mat trick, lengthen out your mat so that's nice and straight out in front of you. Good. And then we'll curl your toes under, lift your hips up, and find downward facing dog. Good. So here you want your hands about shoulder width distance apart, and your feet about hip width distance apart. For a visual reference here, hip width is about the distance of your two fists pressed together between your ankle bones. And then your down dog, press into your first finger and your middle finger, and then let the energy of the pressure kind of spiral through the outsides of the tips of your fingers, coming around the outside of your hands, and then externally rotating your arms, ending with the shoulder blades squeezing together. And on your next inhale, gaze forward. As you exhale, walk your feet forward. We'll land here in a forward fold. So feet stay about hip width distance apart. If you need a quick measure, you can take your fists between your ankles, kind of scoot them in or out, whichever way you need to. And then we'll come here to a ragdoll pose. Bend your knees as much as you need to let your belly rest right on top of your thighs. Good, and then your hands can either land on the floor, or sometimes it's nice to kind of box out through the arms. So I'm just sliding my hands into my elbow creases, and then tucking your chin towards your chest and letting your head just hang forward. Good. Looks great. You could sway a little bit here, side to side or back and forth. Just shake your head out yes and no a couple of times. Good, looks great, everybody. Release your hands, shift your weight back into your heels, squeeze your glutes, keep your knees bent, and then come all the way up to standing. That's it. Good, let's find some sun salutations, you guys. The sun is out. Also, happy solstice. Longest day of the year, yes.
Oh, wow. My mom's birthday, if she were alive.
Oh, happy birthday to your mom. So our sun salutations involve a lot of forward and backward bending. It's bringing a lot of movement in the spine. You'll feel this also in the hips and the low back. Big thing to pay attention to in our sun salutations is your feet. So oftentimes we kind of forget about our feet and just, you know, assume we can rely on them all the time. But if you add a bit of engagement to your feet, you'll find that these postures actually feel a lot more solid. So try this. Press into the balls of your feet and each of your heels, and then try to lift your arch slightly. Now, for most people, your toes will also lift. That's all right. You're wanting to feel like those feet are working a bit. Good. Now engage your quads. So you're squeezing your thighs. Pull your belly button up and in. Give your glutes a little bit of engagement, not like you're clenching, just like they feel like they're turned on a bit. And then on your inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Good, take a big breath in here. And on your exhale, let's fold forward. So you're gonna fold forward by hinging at the hips, putting a bend in your knees and coming all the way down, just like we were in that ragdoll pose just a moment ago. So rest here for a moment, reaching towards the floor. Good, and then make sure those feet are engaged again, right? Lift through the arch. We're gonna come up halfway. So halfway lift, knees are bent a bit. The biggest thing here in a halfway lift, you guys see my spine? It's really neutral. So there's no rounding anywhere. So to get this, you pull your belly button up and in, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then put your head in line with your shoulders. So if you're reaching your chin towards the floor, like we often do with like push-ups or something, it's too far to the ground. So I'm gonna push it back as if you were in your car, pressing your head straight back against your headrest. Yeah, looks so good, you guys. Take a big breath in here. And on your exhale, reach back down for the floor. Good, inhale and stand all the way up. We're gonna add some side bends into our sun salutations today. So take your right hand to your left wrist, left palm pushes up towards the ceiling, breath in. And on your exhale, lean over to the right. Good, inhale and come back to center. Switch out your hands, so left hand to right wrist, right palm to the ceiling, breath in. Exhale, lean to the left. All the way down that side, buddy. Good, inhale back to the center. And then exhale, here's a little back bend. So you're gonna make a cactus with your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades together and try to lift your rib cage up towards the ceiling. So you're squeezing the shoulders and lifting your rib cage and your chest up. So it feels okay in your neck. Yep, look up towards the ceiling. Good, next inhale, reach your arms back up high. And we're gonna put it all together. So exhale, hinge forward, coming all the way down for your toes. Inhale and come up halfway. Engage through the feet, squeeze your belly button, shoulders together, head up. Good, big breath in. Exhale, reach back down for your toes. Good, inhale and stand all the way up. Engage through the core, press down into your feet, hands come all the way up. Right hand to left wrist, side bend to the right. Inhale back to center. Left hand, right wrist, side bend to the left. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, here's that little back bend. Cactus arms, squeeze the shoulders, lift your chest. It's all about the rib cage lifting rather than what's going on in the low back. So lift up towards the ceiling. Good, inhale and reach back up. Exhale and fold forward. Good, we'll take this a couple times through. Inhale, come up halfway lift. Nice neutral spine. Exhale, reach down for your toes. Inhale, stand all the way up, hands overhead. On your exhale side, bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side, bend to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, nice neutral spine. Exhale, reach for your toes. Inhale and stand all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Good, inhale, center. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, fold forward. Listen up, we're gonna change it up just a little bit here. So we'll come inhale to a halfway lift. And then on your exhale, plant your hands, bend your knees, step back to a high plank. Good. You can always take plank from your knees, from your elbows, or from both, right? Anywhere along there is great. Good. You're looking for a nice...
I'm going to just stretch my back a little bit. So the bending forward isn't working today. So I'm just going to stretch a bit while I'll follow what I can, okay?
No problem, Cheryl. Thanks. Good. So in your plank here, you want your hips in line with shoulders and heels. Pull your belly button up and in. Good. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, we'll press back to downward facing dog. Hips up, heels towards the floor. Good. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale, gaze forward. Walk your feet back to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up. Halfway lift again. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Good. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, back bend, chest lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, forward fold. We'll go through that exact same thing one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your hands, step back, high plank. Good, belly button pulls up and in, press into your hands, and puff your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, we'll press back, downward facing dog. Hips up, heels down. Good, big breath in. Big breath back out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, center. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands just float down to your sides this time. Good, we're gonna move on from our sun salutations into some standing poses. So Cheryl, there's not so much forward, backward bending here, so these should probably be okay for you. So let's start with right leg forward, left leg back in a crescent lunge. So crescent lunge means that you're on the ball of your back foot, right? So we were just here playing around with this lunge pose with one knee down. So we're just gonna lift the leg up, that's it. So for a moment, take your hands to your hip points. So you can kind of feel right where your hips are, right? Those kind of pointy prominences. You can imagine maybe putting your fists almost as if you were holding two flashlights. Both of them would be shining pretty much straight forward. Same thing with that low lunge. Your body will try to open up slightly towards the side. Keep this left hip in line with the right. Good. Don't force anything, but just kind of keep pushing it in that direction. Good. So we're going to move a little bit here, focusing on some more balance, bringing in a lot more strength. I'm sure you guys can already feel you really got to work it to stay in this posture. But again, it starts at the feet. Let me give you just a little bit. There we go. So once again, you want to press into the balls of your feet on both feet. Press into the heel just of that front leg, and then lift up through the arch. And your right knee should be stacked directly on top of this right ankle. That way you can stack your bones and press down. At the same time, you're going to lift both arms up towards the ceiling. Good, that's it. Pay attention to this left hip flexor. Pull your belly button up and in. Good. Feel free to bend the back knee as much as you need. All right, we're gonna move a little bit with this crazy lunge pose. So take a deep breath in here, and on your exhale, hinge at your hips and just slightly reach forward, any amount here. Here's a side view. So we're just going slightly reach forward. Yep. You wanna keep pressing through the back heel of your standing leg. That back leg is really strong, so take a breath in. Good, and then we'll come back to that crescent lunge. We're gonna do that 2 more times. You guys got this. Press into the right heel. Inhale, just slight hinge forward. Exhale, lift it back up. One more time. Exhale, slight hinge forward. And then take it back up. Good, and then step the left foot forward. Give the right leg a little shake. Woo-woo! Working those glutes today, baby. You guys feel that? You on fire, Patty? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Shaking it out. We're gonna move right into the other side, y'all. Left leg forward, right leg back. So we'll find that same positioning here. As always, hips and shoulders, right? A little bit different, so just be aware of that. Good. So remember, right or left knee rather is right on top of the left heel. You're lifting up through the arch, pressing into the left heel, pressing into the ball of your foot on both feet. Belly button pulls up and in. Good engagement of the glutes. I'm sure you can already feel those puppies working. And then arms up when you're ready, right? Especially adding those arms, you're probably still feeling a stretch in this back hip flexor. Feel free to keep that going. And see if you can just slightly squeeze your shoulder blades together. They might not move much, but if you can engage in that area, you'll feel the muscles turn on. They'll help support as we tilt. Ready? So inhale, lengthen through the fingers, and your exhale, we're just gonna take it maybe 1 inch, 2 or 3 forward, just a little shift forward. Keep pressing into the left heel. Here we go. Inhale, take it back. We got 2 more. Exhale, shift it forward, feel that left glute engage. Inhale, take it back. Feel one more time, you guys got this. Trust the left heel, you got it. Lean it forward. Good, lean it back. That's it. Step the right foot forward, shake it out a little bit. Grab a quick sip of water. Looking great, everybody. Patty, you so happy you came.
I'm so happy.
I love it.
That's my that left leg's that ankle. It's getting stronger.
Yes. We're helping it. All right, we're gonna put these movements together in a little bit longer flow. So we won't hold it quite as long, which is also pretty nice, right? So So let's take the right leg forward and the left leg back. Back into that crescent lunge you were just in. But right leg forward, left leg back. Good, so we'll go a little bit faster through these movements now that we know where we're going. So big breath in, lengthen up. On your exhale, tilt it forward slightly, trust the right heel. Good, inhale, take it back. Exhale, just a slight lean. Good, inhale, take it back. Make sure your low back stays really long, no rounding. One more time. Long, low back. Good. Inhale, take it back. Good, and now we're gonna open up to warrior two. So you're spinning your back foot down. Your left toes are not quite at 90 degrees. They're just slightly turned in. Right knee still is right over the right ankle. Good. You might have to take a couple of bounces here. I always like to kind of warm up into the inside of that left hip by finding a little movement. That looks good. Good, and then pause here. Find that deep warrior lunge. Still activating through the feet, pressing into the balls of the feet, the heels, lift up through the arch and engage your quads. Also engage the inner thighs. Those are key in these warrior poses. Take a big breath in here. And your inhale, reach forward a little bit. Listen here, we're gonna flip the right palm towards the ceiling and reverse your warrior. So you're going up and back. The legs didn't move at all as you did that. It's all in the hip. Good, right arm is reaching up and back into a gentle back bend. Just a gentle side bend. Good, remember, you can always modify how deep that is, right? Good, one more big breath here. On your exhale, then we'll take it forward to side angle. So reach all the way forward through the right hand. Back of the right hand comes to the inside of the right leg. Left arm is reaching, yep, as straight up towards the ceiling as you can get it. Then let's take this left hand, the one reaching towards the ceiling, and draw a couple of big circles with the left hand. So the rest of your body is going to stay exactly where it is. It's going to reach it forward in 2 circles. Good. Next time it comes back to the ceiling, let's reverse the circle, go the opposite direction. We'll take 2 in that opposite direction. Good, keep pressing into the right heel. This time we're gonna reverse the warrior one more time. So right arm's gonna come up and back again. Good, now stay here. Straighten through your right leg. Pull your belly button up and in. And then we're gonna take this in a triangle pose. Press into the feet, reach the right arm forward. Still gonna come to the inside of the right leg. Left arm is gonna reach up high. Good. Still pressing into the feet, getting a bit more stretch into the inside of the right leg. Keep lifting through the left hand. It's not about reaching the floor, it's more about lengthening. Good, now squeeze your inner thighs like crazy, and we're gonna reverse this triangle. So right leg will stay straight, arms will go up and back, just like that reverse warrior. Yeah, that's it. A little extra stretch into that right hip flexor joint. That's great, everybody. On your next inhale, we're taking this to a star pose. So keep your legs straight, but turn your right toes in. So toes in, arms out like a 5-pointed star. And then turn your toes just slightly more pigeon-toed in. And on your exhale, a little bend into your knees, hinge at your hips, and we'll come all the way forward into a prasarita. It's a wide-legged forward bend. If coming all the way down isn't gonna work, feel free to pause somewhere along the way. Yeah, good. So we're looking for a nice stretch to the inner thighs. If you're leaning forward, you're feeling a big stretch through the back as well. Good. Keep some engagement in the core. Keep lifting the hips, see if you can separate the sits bones slightly. Good. If you're leaned all the way forward, we'll come up halfway. You might need to walk your feet in an inch or 2. Bend your knees a little bit, squeeze your glutes, and then come back up to standing. And then turn your heels in and your toes out for a little squat. Always have to dance the squats out too. So heels in, toes turned out however you need to. Yeah. Do a little squat dance. I love it. Everybody's got a great dance. Good. Then pause here, kind of find a centered area, right? And then see if you can lean your shoulders any more over the hips. Maybe the knees can open a little farther. And then remember, it all starts with the feet. So pressing into the feet, lift up through the arch. Good. You take your hands to heart. We'll just hold it here for a moment. That's it. Hips back. Yeah, that's it. Cheryl, so you can get your hips back a little bit farther. Squeeze those glutes. Beautiful. Good. Take one more breath in here. Stay for the exhale. Good. Press into your heels, squeeze your glutes, and stand all the way up. Good. Walk the feet together. Give them a little circle. It's a lot of work for the ankles. Quick sip of water. Are you guys so happy you have two sides? I love the dirty looks.
I was just thinking that. I'm so happy I have two sides.
You know, it's so funny what people will like look at you with on Zoom, but they would never look at you in the yoga studio that way. That's all right. I got thick skin. You can give me all the dirty looks you want. All right, we're coming into crescent lunge with the left leg forward. We're going to do a couple of those tilts, and then we'll go through that longer series together. So remember, left knee right over the ankle. Activate through the feet, lifting up through the arch. You got it. I love it, Christine. You're ready to roll. Arms up nice and high. Watch this right hip. It's going to open. Keep it closed. Take a big breath in. Exhale, give it a little lean. Doesn't have to be far, but press into the left heel, squeeze the glute. Inhale, take it back up. Good, two more. Exhale, lean it forward. That glute is solid. Inhale, lift it back. One more time. Exhale, take it forward. Woo. Inhale, straight back up. And then open up, warrior two. Okay, a couple of bounces into that left knee as you open up the inside of the right leg. Good, shuffle, adjust. Right toes are just ever so slightly turned in from 90 degrees. Good, and when you feel like you've got a good balance here, stay put. Take a big breath in. Just kind of settle in on the exhale. Good, next inhale, reach the left hand as far forward as you can. Good, now here's the kicker. Don't move your hips at all, or don't move your legs at all. Turn your left palm towards the ceiling, yep, and then inhale up and reverse. So left knee stays bent right over the ankle. That's it, good. Squeezing your inner thighs. Inhale forward for side angle. So left arm will come to the inside of that left leg. Right hand is going to reach up. Remember, it's about the reach rather than the reach down. Focus on the reach up. Keeping that low back nice and long. Belly button stays pulled up and in to support the spine. Good. Inhale, reverse that warrior one more time. Remember, left leg stays put. Beautiful. Left arm up and back. Feel in that left quad. Engage the inner thighs. And then straighten through the left leg. So both legs are now straight. You're still leaning up and back. And then we're going to take it forward to triangle. So right hip kind of presses back like you got sassy hips. Left hand comes down to the inside of the left leg. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Ooh, we forgot our circles on the other side, so we're going to do those here. Take that right arm. Give me two circles reaching forward. Squeeze your glutes. Press into your feet, reverse the circle. Remember, pressing down into the balls of the feet, lift up through the arch. Good. Next time, right hand is towards this top, reverse that triangle. So left leg will stay straight, you'll go up and back. Great. Inner thighs, super strong. One more breath in. Exhale this star pose. Here we go. Turn the left toes sideways. Bend the knees a little or a lot, and we'll come down in any heights, right? So if you're coming down to the floor, you're on the floor. Maybe you're on a block. Maybe you're hanging out halfway here. Good. See if you can get a stretch in your inner thighs. So you're hanging up halfway. Turn your toes in so they're pretty pigeon-toed. Lift up through the hips. So you can get a nice stretch somewhere along the back or the insides of your legs. That's it. Yeah. Oh, Patty, you're fine with your hands on the floor. I'm just showing all the different options. Good. Especially if you're leaning forward, give your head a couple of shakes, yes and no. Good. If you're all the way forward, come up about halfway, scoot your feet in maybe an inch or two, bend your knees, squeeze your glutes, and we'll come up to a squat. Good. Heels turn in, toes turn out. We'll find that squat dance on the side. Move it, shake it, get as low as you can. There we go. Good, let's take our hands to your inner thighs this time. So you're nice and low, just kind of hanging out. Good. You might stay here if your low back's feeling really great. We'll take it into a little twist. For the twist, you'll drop your left shoulder towards center and look over the right. Remember, hips super low, like you're reaching for that chair. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right shoulder comes to center. You're going to gaze towards the left. Hips back, weight in the heels. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. So left shoulder is dropping, gaze to the right. Good. Inhale back to center. Last time here. Exhale, twist left. Good. Hips low. That's it. Inhale back to center. Press into the heels, squeeze the glutes, come all the way up to standing. Good. Shake it out. Whoa. So good. Woo. Couple of circles. Nice, you guys. We're going to take it all the way down to the mat from here. So grab a sip of water, come meet on the floor. All right, we did a lot of work with the glutes today and the ankles, right? We're gonna start with a nice glute stretch, one of my favorite stretches. It's a supine pigeon stretch. So we're gonna do this on your back. We'll cross right ankle over left knee. Now, depending on how your body's feeling, this might be enough stretch in the right side for you. If you want more, you can lift your legs up, take your right hand, kind of put it through the four of a figure four. If you can imagine your legs are making this four shape. So my right hand's gonna go through, my left hand's gonna go around my thigh. I'm gonna interlace my fingers, pull my left knee in, use my right elbow to push my right knee away. Yeah, good. Looking good, you guys. Good. Once you feel like you've gotten a good position, shift your weight slightly to the right and then to the left. And just see if maybe there's a spot that's kind of asking for you to hold it. Or maybe straight on is the perfect place to be. Take a nice deep breath in. We'll stay for the exhale. And then letting your left foot come back to the mat, but keeping your knees in the same position. Let your arms come out like a capital letter T, and then drop your legs towards the left. So you're doing a kind of more intense twist. Yep. You'll just gently let your legs go towards the left. If that feels like too much for the back, you could always cross your knees and get those a little bit closer and just let your knees drop. You feel like your legs are kind of hanging out in the air, you could stick a block or a book or a pillow underneath that bottom leg, give it a little bit of support. Good, and then nice and slow, come back up into center. And then take your right leg off, give your knees a little hug into your chest for a moment. You might twist a little bit side to side, or maybe find a circle with your knees. Usually feels pretty good for the low back. Good, and let's head into the other side. So with your knees bent, we'll take left leg, cross left ankle over right knee. Yep, left hand's going through that 4 shape, right hand's coming around the outside of the right thigh. And then you're pulling it in. Good, and then remember your sides are a little different. So pay attention to how it feels versus where you were on the other side. And then once you feel like you're pretty steady, give it a little shift to the right and to the left. Just kind of exploring, seeing how it feels. If there's a spot you want to hold on to, maybe you find just a slightly off-kilter supine pigeon today, right? And take a deep breath in. Stay for the exhale. Good, and then let your right foot come back onto the floor, and we'll take this twist to the right. So arms will come out like a capital T, and then you'll let your legs drop towards the right. Good. And then prop up if you need to underneath that bottom leg if it's feeling like it's not touching the floor and just kind of yanking on your low back. Nice and supported. And then make your way back into center. uncross the legs, pull your knees into your chest. Just take a little bit of movement, side to side, circle. So we'll take one more deep full breath in. And on your exhale, find a comfortable relaxation pose. So if your low back's feeling a little funny today, you might keep your knees bent. You could walk your feet wide and just let your knees fall in towards one another. That generally feels pretty good for the low back. If you're feeling great in your back and you want to lie straight on the floor, that's a great option as well. If you'd prefer to take a seated posture, you can also do that as well. Let's just take these last few minutes to do absolutely nothing at all. Just let your body breathe and be. Let your next inhale be a little bit deeper, a little bit fuller. And then slowly on the exhale, begin to come back into the space in your body, in the room. If you'd like to, you can take your hands together at your heart. The light in me honors, bows, and surrenders to the light within each of you. Namaste.